So there I was, sitting at a table at a baby shower, looking through a sonogram booklet. I really had no idea what I was looking at because I've never had a sonogram before, and quite frankly, haven't really seen too many before either. And I'm sitting there, minding my own business, head in the booklet, and trying to be present, but also, I guess, doing everything that everybody else is doing, is being actively participating in the excitement of it all. When random person comes and sits next to me and says, "Isn't a baby just the most beautiful blessing you could ever give to the world? And isn't it purely beautiful for you to be able to be that contributor?" Now, said lady had no idea what I was going through, had no idea the thoughts that I was feeling internally. However, what happened next was, in my brain, sort of like one of those Zach Morris moments where you pause everything. And what I would have done, mentally I was thinking, is I probably would have pulled the chair out and pushed her off because, we're agreeing that there's a pause timeout occurring, and then timed back in and looked at her and said, "Oh my gosh, you have fallen." And then that would have been that. That's what mentally I did. What I actually did was pulled my head up from the sonogram booklet, looked at her, and I said nothing. Not one word. I got it from the table and I beelined it for the bar. Now, this is not a glamorous moment for me. And I have told you before that I consider myself the poster child of all the things that maybe you should contemplate not doing if you're having a moment where you're struggling with something, namely me, infertility. And in that moment, I'm going to tell you that for me was an emotional outburst. Mind you, I only mentally kicked her butt, but verbally I didn't actually say anything. That was not a good look for me. I had just completely ignored a human that was speaking to me because I was having a silent but emotional outburst. Emotional outbursts, they're not cute. It's not a good look. They happen sometimes, and when they do, it's likely that they're happening because you've bottled something up. You have a feeling about it, and maybe you feel too ashamed to acknowledge it. This is okay. This is okay because not everybody has their shit together. In fact, I don't know anybody that has all of their shit together. You may be good at a few things, but there's probably something that you're not that great at, and that's fine. So today I want to talk to you about 3 things to consider when processing your pain to get through the shame of it all so you're not dealing with those silent or not so silent emotional outbursts. For those who don't know me, my name is Shannon Wooten. I am a lifestyle infertility coach. I help women struggling with symptoms related to infertility who feel like aliens in their body and are looking for a way to cope with the what now. So, first of all, there is no shame in going through a tough time. Like I said, I don't know anybody that has all of their shit together. I know a lot of people that have had a lot of shit happen where they've fallen apart. Some things are more intense than others, and whatever your situation is that, as I always say, is causing you a moment of pause, is giving you that thing where you say, I need to take a step back because I'm freaking out, either outwardly or silently or otherwise. Again, I want you to consider these 3 things when processing your pain and trying to get past your shame. So the first thing is, there ain't no shame in your game, okay? Remember that. There should be no shame in your game because nobody is perfect. Nobody is perfect. No shame in going through a tough time, so you might as well own it. Again, yes, I probably could have said to her something to the effect of, I agree with you. It is wonderful. It's wonderful that a person has a baby, and it is a magical blessing. I feel that way. I was trying to get pregnant and it wasn't working. So my shame of it all made me say nothing. And that emotional outburst, again, albeit was silent, but it said so much to me. And it, to her, probably just said I was a bitch, but she didn't know what I have going on, and she also didn't deserve me to ice her out. So I also could have said my truth, which is, I agree with you. I am actually struggling with infertility right now. But instead, I let my shame take over, and all of the thoughts in my head that just crept on up and took control and said, but if I say that, then I'm taking the moment away from this beautiful event. I'm taking the celebration away from the baby and the expecting mother. But maybe not. Maybe just being honest would have spawned a human response from the other person who's trying to talk to you like you are to a human, and maybe would have thought, how great of her to come, to be here to celebrate this person that she must love so much, because this is difficult for her. This must be difficult for her, but she's here celebrating and taking it all in anyways. So don't have any shame in your game, because if you don't own it, you can have these emotional outbursts, again, quiet or otherwise, and that is not a cute look for you. So own it. Have no shame in your game. 2 is, judgment is in your head. So the people who love you are going to support you, and they're going to be receptive to the fact that you're going through something. If you don't speak about what it is that you're going through, then sure, people aren't going to know how you feel, and you can't expect them to know that. So if you decide, hey, I'm going to go to this baby shower, and I'm not being honest with my friend, and I'm not telling her what I'm going through, and in the midst of them opening up the 50th, because you know how many diapers there are going to be, there's a million, but opening up the 50th bag of diapers, you stand up and yell, how many fucking diapers do you need? That's not going to be a good look for you. 2, if they're going through, the second diaper genie, and people are like, what are we going to do with the second diaper genie? Whatever will we do with it? And you stand up and say, you're going to put diapers in it. You and I both know diapers are going to go in there. This is not a good look for you. So the more you accept what it is that you're going through, the more that you put yourself out there and you talk about it. And I understand it's difficult. No matter what you're going through, that's giving you a moment of pause, that's causing you to take a step back and really think about what you're feeling and what you're going through and why you're feeling it and why it's so intense, the better off you're going to be. But the longer that you sit in the cesspool and you just kind of melt in the idea of people are going to judge me if they know how I really feel, it's only going to make it worse. You have to be willing to put yourself first. And in doing that, you say to yourself, I have to kind of put the judgment out of my head and really think about what it is that I'm going through. The people that love you are going to support you, but they cannot support you if you're hiding in your shame, if you're having these emotional outbursts and nobody knows, hey, crazy pants, somebody needs to settle her down. We don't know what the heck is going on with her. Don't feel the judgment. Come out of yourself and trust that those who love you can be there for you, because it's going to help you get out of this dark space. It's going to help you stop thinking that everybody has their shit together except you. That's not true. The third thing is, and I want to be very honest with you and telling you this, is that the world can be cruel. And so there are going to be instances in your life where you need to prepare yourself for the people that are going to lack compassion for your situation. Yes, there should be no shame in your game in owning what it is that you're going through, because that will heal you. There should be no shame in your game for having a consideration that you're judging yourself and that maybe other people would perceive it that way, but knowing that those that love you will also support you, because that will heal you. But also knowing that there are going to be people that will not be compassionate to your situation. And I could tell you that everybody will understand and everybody will be there and support you and rallying you, but some people just can't get out of their own way. And some people just can't look, outside of their own nose and 2 steps in front of themselves to have compassion for other people. They can't. But you cannot let that hold you back, because you cannot be responsible for other people. You need to be responsible for you. You need to be responsible to your healing. So with this third point, and why I think it's so powerful, and something that I try and really stress to anybody that I talk to who's going through a difficult time, anybody who's struggling with infertility, anybody who has a moment in their life where they're taking a moment of pause, when you encounter somebody who is not going to be supportive to your situation and not compassionate to your situation, you need to take another pause and think how valuable they are to your life. And yes, some people may say, wow, you're just like cutting people out. Sometimes you need to. If you are not going to have a group of people that are forcing you to up level, that are forcing you to see that your life is worth something, forcing you to see that yes, this is hard. You are entitled to feel that this is hard, but you are not entitled to feel that you are the only person who goes through something difficult. That's so huge. It's so big. It's so big. And that's why it's so important that you realize there are going to be people that are not compassionate to you. Don't confuse that with you're not telling them what's going on. You're not telling them why you're upset and therefore they're not there for you. They're not going to know. You need to say the words in order for them to know. But if you do, and they come back to you with something that is hard to hear and it's hurtful for you and it's not supportive, you need to think about the value they bring to your life. Because you're in a situation where you're trying to get better. You don't need someone that's going to make you feel worse. You don't need that. There's enough of that. So in processing your emotions, it's important to know that feelings are unpredictable. They're extremely unpredictable. And knowing that you're going to feel a little bit of an embarrassment at some point, or maybe even a little bit of shame of what it is that you're going through, or feeling like nobody can understand, the sooner you stop pretending like things aren't happening to you and that everything is fine, and you acknowledge that, hey, I'm feeling a little bit embarrassed about this. I'm feeling a little bit shameful about this. And I'm afraid that people are going to judge me if they know that I'm struggling here. I'm struggling, and that people sometimes lack compassion. The sooner you realize this, the sooner you will begin healing. So there is no shame in understanding that sometimes you need to take a moment of pause. You need to really understand what it is that's holding you back, and you need to start telling yourself the truth. And the truth is, nobody has their shit together. They don't. And it took me a long time to get to that point. Yeah, this is my struggle, but other people have struggles too. Take your blinders off. Step out of that perfection bubble, because it's a liar. It doesn't exist. There ain't no such freaking thing as perfect. There isn't. No amount of money in the world is going to make you perfect. No scenario is going to make your life perfect. You make it that way. And the only way you're going to get to that point is when you stop feeling shame about who you are and the things that you go through, and start considering all the reasons why you have to own it, to stop worrying about other people's judgment, and to fill your life with people that are going to make you up level and feel better to start the healing process. So as always, guys, thank you so much for signing on. Thank you so much for watching the videos. If you like it, give me a heart, throw me some hearts. If you have any topics you want to hear me talk about, shoot me a comment, hop on over to Life with Shannon, watch some of the other videos from last week. I'd love to hear from you. I love your feedback. If it doesn't make sense, if you feel a little lost, whatever, I'm totally down for whatever your opinions are, because I'm doing this for you. As I always say, I already love you. If you're going through something difficult, it's important that you know that. There is somebody out there that is rooting for you. I am that person. I believe that you can get through it. All you need to do is find your ownership in what it is that you're going through, and your healing process will begin. I truly believe it. All right, guys, have a very happy Monday. Enjoy the rest of your day, and enjoy the rest of your week. I'll talk to you soon. Be easy. Bye.